In the world of video games, never has there been more popularity in the Battle Royale genre. In order for a game to succeed in its area, it must offer something unique and fresh and have the developer support to back it up. Hi guys, my name is Kazz and today we'll be taking you through a quick rundown of HyperScape as well as covering some core mechanics and tips and tricks in hopes of getting you ready for release. HyperScape is an extremely fast-paced first-person shooter battle royale that is set in Neo Arcadia, a neo-futuristic city landscape with a variety of weapons and hacks that allow you to fight with the personal loadout of your preference. From tall towering skyscrapers to vast extending landmarks, this beautifully designed map encourages unique and varying gunfights and strategies that emphasizes vertical gunplay very heavily. You may carry up to 2 weapons and 2 hacks at any time, but we'll get into those later. And finding duplicate weapons or hacks will allow you to power up your weapon by fusing them together with a duplicate copy. Alright guys, with all that being said, now let's get into the details and we begin with hacks. Hacks are found throughout Neo Arcadia and can be picked up, dropped, and swapped at any time. There are a total of 9 hacks available, each varying in effect as well as cooldowns. And remember, fusing hacks will reduce the cooldown. Up first is armor. Armor will grant you around 7 seconds of invulnerability. You are still visible and subject to weapon, hack, and event effects such as knockback or low gravity. This is a great escape ability as it will ensure you a few seconds of safety when repositioning or running away. This ability can be self-interrupted, so please be careful. Next up is ball. Now ball is kind of an interesting one as it literally turns you into a very bouncy ball that allows for repositioning or escape. You can build momentum with ball if you continue to hold jump, and remember, ball lasts for a good while just as long as you don't take damage above a small threshold. Ooh, let's talk about heal. This one's really good as it allows you to put down a ranged stationary AoE heal, good for healing on demand as well as entire teams. A max level heal will replenish health twice as fast, so be sure to fuse those hacks. Then we got invisibility. This one's pretty good too. Just like the name suggests, it allows for the user to remain invisible for 7 seconds, good for leading people away or just getting away in general. Just keep in mind there is a small window between the activations so you can still get killed if you aren't wary of your movement. Also, invisibility can be cancelled by shooting, weapon switching, melee, and is countered by reveal. Mine. This one's my personal favorite and just got buffed too. It's an AoE homing based projectile that has a very low cooldown at max level. Mine deals a good chunk of damage and is especially great for zoning and being chased as you can drop them behind you, making it a solid deterrent for those chasing. Enemies will have a small mine icon appear on their screen when they are approaching a nearby mine and have the ability to shoot them out. Reveal. Just like the name suggests, this one allows you to reveal nearby enemies in front of you regardless of visibility. This one is useful for chasing down your enemies or checking adjacent buildings for hostiles. Just know that revealing someone not only reveals them to your team, but for everyone else in the area as well. So this one's really strong right now. It allows you to launch yourself in the air and come slamming down into the ground, dealing AoE damage in an area around you as well as slightly knocking enemies back and up into the air. This can also be used as a repositioner in addition to having offensive and defensive abilities. You can cancel slam mid-animation by weapon switching, melee, and other abilities. Keep in mind that slam does have a giveaway sound, so it won't always be easy slamming down on opponents. Next up we have teleport. This hack is a blink that allows you to teleport a short distance and has a slightly longer cooldown than slam. Teleport does have an audio cue, but it is very faint, especially when compared to slam. Good for repositioning, fleeing, and flanking. I would put teleport as a hard contender for slam. Our last hack is wall. This one's very unique and extremely fun to play with. This hack literally allows you to place a wall where you'd like. It can be used to block enemy projectiles and vision as well as repositioning if placed underneath the user. Walls last a very long time if not manually destroyed and can be used to skybase into the air. They can be used to prevent people from running or entering certain directions, so this by far is one of the best for crowd control. Alright, now let's get into the weapons in HyperScape. Just like hacks, weapons can be fused and certain weapons will have an added perk at max level fusion, so play around and see what gun combo works best for you. Our first weapon up is the D-Tap. This one just got buffed in the recent patch and is actually an auto-locking pistol. Its damage per shot just got buffed by 1, as well as the fire rate. It can still hit enemies from a distance but will not auto-lock unless you are within a certain range. This is an extremely good weapon for securing kills. The Hexfire. Man, this gun is insane. It's essentially a Gatling gun with no recoil. Sure, each shot only does a bit of damage, but the fire rate and lack of recoil is insane. With the recent patch, hipfire sway was increased, but ADS remains unchanged. This has an insanely huge clip, so it's good for long engagements as well as chasing people down. Next up, we got the Komodo. This is an explosive-based weapon which shoots grenades in a straight line that explodes on impact. The weapon has knockback properties, so it could be used for small movement if necessary. Mammoth. What would a shooter be without a fat, juicy shotgun, right? Well, as long as your Mammoth is maxed out, you will be able to one-pump enemies if you hit max damage. If you don't land juicy shots though, expect this gun to hit for 10s. I'd pair this up with a gap closer or repositioner to allow you to get up close and personal. Protocol 5 is a single shot sniper rifle that is capable of one-shotting enemies with a headshot at max level fusion. The scope in time is quite short, so it is possible to quickscope, and this weapon is borderline overpowered, especially when there's low gravity. Alright, next weapon up is the Riot 1. This is a Deagle hand cannon wingman equivalent. Highly recommended for accurate shooters as the damage is very high. I don't think anyone's a fan of those sights though. Gross. Moving on to the Ripper. This is HyperScape's assault rifle with a 36 round magazine and increased damage at max fusion. This is always a solid weapon of choice that provides accurate and moderate damage at a decent fire rate. Alright, it's time for the salvo. We gotta talk about this one, guys. This one just got nerfed a bit recently, but it's still really strong. This is a grenade launcher with a knockback that is extremely deadly indoors or in small areas. The reason for this is because the grenades can actually bounce and be banked and explode on proximity of hostiles or after a few seconds. This weapon can be unloaded very quickly, making it difficult to escape once you've been caught in its knockback. Our last weapon up is the Skybreaker. This is a single shot explosive weapon that packs a very powerful punch and the largest AoE of all the explosive weapons. The explosion radius does increase with distance up to a certain size, so it's best to use in the open. There are also 7 in-game events which are all pretty self-explanatory. Some of the events are passive and some of them require an item to be picked up, such as the health kit event or cooldown accelerator. Some of these events will occur during the course of the game, and Twitch viewers can vote for the events from their streamer's page. Subscribers count as 3 times the regular vote, so this is a great game for viewership. Alright, yo. I know this is a good deal of information, but hang in there, we're almost done, guys. I got a few more tips to give you guys from what I've learned firsthand. At the start of the game, be sure to have your drop spot picked out. You will always fly in from one of the 4 corners of the map, and you can also see where hostiles around you are landing. They appear as red markers around you. Keep their positioning in mind. There are 2 types of boosters around the map, which will throw you into the air. There are a few sky boosters at certain POIs, which will slowly float you up into the air, as well as mini boosters that will launch you into the air a small distance, making it easy to get up on some rooftops. Oh, by the way, guys, keep a lookout for some small crates on those platforms by the sky boosters. If you keep an ear out for a high-pitched whirring noise, you can follow the sound to find these glowing small crates that can sometimes contain max level weapons or hacks. Neat. Guys, movement in this game is everything. Having good movement could be the difference between you winning the fights and being killed. Here's a few tips that I've got for you on movement. Have sprint set to toggle as opposed to hold. This will allow you to slide more easily and then slide hop more consistently. The sliding mechanic is actually very simple. The direction in which you're moving in when you first start sliding is the same direction that you will continue sliding until you lose momentum. This means it's possible to slide and shoot behind you, use abilities, and look around while sliding. Also, sliding will not interrupt or cancel any animations or abilities, and maintaining momentum allows you to infinite combo slide, so make sure you practice this. Your mastery of movement, hacks, and weapons will allow you to stay alive longer in fights and have a larger impact for your team. Remember, it's possible to switch hacks mid-fight and mid-use, so try and keep a cool head during those intense fights. Also, when running away, be sure to avoid bumping into the cars, as the alarm might go off, causing your location to be revealed temporarily. Being a vertically oriented game, having height can be a huge advantage. Unlike previous zones in other battle royale games, the zone does not close in a circular pattern. Instead, zones will fall out in random, causing the map to look like a jigsaw puzzle at times. When zones have fallen out, buildings will cease to exist and you will be a free target for those already in zone, as everything around you will be leveled and gone. Lastly, in order to win, you must stay alive until the crown appears in endgame and either eliminate the remaining teams or capture the crown and stay alive for 45 seconds. We found that depending on the location of the endgame, this can be very chaotic or very weird. Hey, I've even seen people rushing the crown and making a beeline out of zone using heal and armor to stay alive. So I guess there's lots of room for individual creativity in this game. Alright everyone, now that we've gone over this together, I hope that you've gotten a better understanding and enjoy every second that you play when the game gets released. I also hope that you guys truly enjoyed the video. Please let me know down below in the comments if there's anything that you guys wanted to add to this. I love you guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.